Yeah, wait, talk?
Okay.
Yeah, it says you're not like...
While Maggie does this, I'm going to explain to you why this... There we go.
There it is.
Let me tell you, though, why this is the issue. Maggie said, could we go ahead and maybe start getting ready? Mm-hmm. And I said, Maggie, I work from home, and there's a lot that I can get accomplished between 9:27 and 9:30.
Yeah.
I usually can change clothes, go to the bathroom, take a quick walk with the dog, make a snack.
Yeah, you said a lot of things you can do.
A lot of things can be done at just mere minutes before hopping onto a very important call.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that we had to do all of this, so I apologize, and we will start this at like 9:15 next week. But I think we're here now.
We did it.
Maggie was like, maybe we could start getting ready at this time, and I was like, yeah, and then I casually sauntered off to the bathroom at 9:28.
But we did it. We made it, and we're here, and we're recording, and we should clap.
We should clap. 1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, 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 only Suits fans.
Do you want to do our intro?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome. If you have been watching for the last 5 minutes, we appreciate you and not commenting about how we just have to press on or something, you know? But I am Maggie.
And I'm Amanda. And we're sisters
in law.
And we're interrupting our recaps of the original Suits to cover this incredible gift that is Suits LA.
And today we are recapping season 1, episode 3, He Knew, which we all just watched. He knew.
Okay, so Maggie said to me right before she was looking up on the internet, she goes, hey, do you know what the name of the episode is for today? And when she told me, I kind of lost it.
You did kind of lose it.
Because this
giggling.
is literally exactly what they did in OG Suits.
It's either he knows, she knows. But
she's
this is
gone,
new.
he's gone, they're here.
They're here.
What's up?
What's up? Yeah, and they've been going with the first 2 episodes have these really long names.
Like too beefy.
Yeah, like 7 days to Sunday and 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But now we're back, baby. We've got Greenback Boogie and we've got He Knows is the title of the episode.
I can't help but wonder, are they listening to our notes? Because I don't know if everything is locked for them.
I can't help but wonder if maybe we are the ghostwriter for Suits LA.
We might be.
They might be listening to our predictions and be like, scrap it, we can't do that now.
Right. Well, I mean, I think we have a very good working knowledge of the Suits world and could inform and be at least a consultant on any kind of franchise for Suits.
Yeah. And we're consulting for free right now.
Right now we are consulting for free, but if you guys really like this, it would be super awesome if you could like, subscribe, and leaving a review, because that's how people find the podcast, and then maybe we could get paid to be consultants. Right?
In our mind or in real life. Who knows?
We'd even wear suits. And
I would buy a suit.
Yes.
If I was paid to podcast about suits. I would buy a suit.
For sure. So you've heard it here first. Mm-hmm. We got to get Maggie to buy a suit.
Mm-hmm. Because I don't. I have a swimsuit.
You have a suit.
I have no suit. I don't have a suit. I have a blazer.
Okay. But you don't have like an actual suit?
I have dress pants.
I bought a suit from Spanx last year.
Was it good?
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got some compliments on it.
Yeah, get those. Yeah, because it's nice. Like a woman's suit needs to be fitted in all the right places.
And it is. Mm-hmm. It's real cool.
Yeah, you can't have a boxy suit. It's got to be like a...
Well, you can have a boxy suit if you have the right look for, like...
If you're like a tiny person.
Yes, then it's totally fine for it to be boxy on you.
Yeah.
Kate
I put
Hudson's,
on a boxy suit, I look like Frankenstein.
Kate Hudson's wearing a lot of boxy suits in Running Point.
which I did not watch because I was watching with love,
Which
Megan.
we are going to do a special episode.
We have to do a special
Just to
episode
recap
because I
with
actually love it, and I don't know if it's because I now love Rachel Zane. Because if you remember when I started Suits, I was
did not like Rachel Zane.
very skeptical about Rachel Zane and about Meghan Markle, and now I'm like, she's my girl. Yes,
Yeah.
I want to get flower sprinkles to put on top of
All right,
anything.
I got to watch it, and we'll do a bonus episode.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, not to get too far ahead of myself.
I have written a brief, as we
Good.
do.
Thank you.
And I'm not going to apologize for my work. I'm just going to do it because it had to be done quickly.
It had to be.
You know, I didn't do anything for the first 10 minutes after the show was over, and then I started writing the brief. All right.
I got to do it.
Personalities are really starting to come to life in the City of Angels. Erica is showing off her TV knowledge and sweet dance moves. Brian and Erica are showing off their flirty alter egos. Lester is showing his anger and also his love for his soon-to-be ex-wife. Stuart is showing his hat-wearing abilities because he can wear the hat of a divorce attorney going up against Ted and also the hat of a guy who still cares about his best friend. Ted is showing that he'll listen to Rosalind because he finally acknowledges his father's death, and the casting directors are showing us they look for a certain personality type when casting female roles. Hot brunettes, which means I might have a chance.
This is it.
This is what I've been waiting for, is to be cast as a walk-on that will truly blend in
With every other brunette character.
by gosh.
Every single one of them. Heart shape face.
It is, they just like keep on coming.
Like, can't stop seeing brunettes.
I know, like today when Rosalind had a lot more, which we'll talk about her, she had definitely more lines, right?
Yeah.
She didn't go from 4 scenes to 40 scenes or whatever.
Right.
Like, what's her face?
Devin.
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 I don't
Devin.
know. Brunette number 4.
Marvel brunette.
Marvel brunette. But she does, when I said I didn't lean over, we were not sitting that close. I was like, there's another brunette. They all look the same.
Another one.
Another one. They're getting us good over there.
They are. And they're in LA, which I feel like, are there no blondes?
I don't know. I wonder if there will be like trading cards for Suits LA.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't know who you're trading because
you don't.
all the brunettes look the same.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
Anyways.
Okay, let's get into this. Let's start where the show starts.
Okay.
Which is Rick walking into Stephanie's office early in the morning. She is no longer a late sleeper. Ever since she moved from LA, she just kind of kept that East Coast time. So she's there early. And he's from Philadelphia. And they have this little exchange where she's like, oh, you're from Philly? That means that you have a chip on your shoulder because you're in a subpar city. You're from a subpar city to New York. And he's like, what? No, I don't have a chip on your shoulder. Oh, wait, I totally just proved your point. I do have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
But he is totally fine with the tasks she gives him, which is he has to find people to fire, 3 people to fire from the department as the new head of entertainment.
Is it because they're not doing well?
He has to figure out who to let go. Yeah, I guess that's his new job. Yeah. And he's like, that's fine. Just give me Lakers tickets.
Rosalind, who is Ted's secretary, which it would be the Donna to Harvey, you know?
But is not.
But it's not because we're not comparing. Rosalind tells Erica about Brian Baumgartner, and Ted can't make the meeting with Brian. And apparently, once a year, Brian comes in and he just kind of demands the world. And so she was like, hey, just make it happen. Like if it's a meeting with King Charles, if it's cloning his puppy, whatever it is, make it happen. And Erica's like, okay. So Rosalind tells Erica at the same time about Lester's wife sleeping with his business partner. And I thought it was interesting that like, because we haven't really seen Rosalind that much at all, that like early on in this episode, Erica's going to her for like hot goss on a murder case.
Yeah.
That felt interesting to me because up until now, and it's only been 2 episodes, Rosalind has not shown us to be a character that's got the hot goss.
Who's spilling the beans.
Right. And like, okay, Erica, I'll tell you. Like, that was an interesting thing. Now, I don't want to compare her to Donna.
But we have to at this point.
But Donna didn't do that early on either. Like, it was a slower progression. It feels like they've kind of... They put Rosalind in there fast today. Like, she's in there.
This was her episode. This was her debut.
This was really it.
This
and
is
so
I'm
real curious to see what they're going to do with her character because we saw a lot more of her this time.
We did.
Still confused which one she is based on looks.
Right.
But we did see a lot of her.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Then Lester comes in or we don't see Lester. He's actually at his office and he did not know his wife was sleeping with Simon, his wife Valerie. And he is throwing stuff and he's throwing like the biggest temper tantrum ever.
Yeah.
And Kevin's like, by the way, your guy losing his cool like this, not looking good for him on this murder charge.
Yeah, no kidding.
But Ted, they're just having this conversation. Ted's like, let him get it out. Let him sort through it. I'm going to go check in on something. I need you to figure out everything that the prosecutor knows about this case.
Leah visits Erica with a dossier on Baumgartner with everything that she needs to know, from Kevin on The Office to anything in between. And I thought this was cute that she put this all together. She's like, how'd you know? She's like, well, I saw it on the calendar. And I just had the question here, like, is it weird that their calendars are public within the company?
Yeah, with the details of the clients that they're meeting with.
Because sometimes they don't tell each other what's going on, because then all of a sudden, then they know, right? Like they could be representing somebody within the firm, but like if you and I are working at the same firm, I'm not always going to tell you everything I'm working on, because then you're going to know, and like you could be deposed or whatever, even though you're an attorney. Like, it's, you don't need to know it all. It's interesting.
It feels
I guess
weird
you can't be deposed, but
yeah, it feels weird that the calendars are public with the clients that they're meeting with for someone. But I guess, I don't know, is Leah kind of her associate? Is that why? So she has access in case she needs to be able to prep. I don't know.
I was just thinking of this because
it feels like client, attorney.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I guess it's all within the firm.
Also, does that mean like when it just says like doctor's appointment, or does it say like what exam she's getting done?
Well, Leah's like, you're not going to make the dentist appointment tomorrow.
That's true. That's true.
So she knew.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Before Leah came in and explained who Brian Baumgartner is, did you know who it was?
Yeah.
You knew from the name Brian Baumgartner? Did you know that because you saw the preview and saw Kevin from The Office, or did you know that because you know Brian Baumgartner?
I knew who he was.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
I'm not trying to brag. I watched The Office.
And you watched The Office and knew his name was Brian Baumgartner? Brian Baumgartner?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could. It's the double initials.
Double initials are easy to remember.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if I could name all of their real names from The Office.
Mindy Kaling.
Who's that?
Good one.
I think I could name most of them.
Yeah.
Okay,
so the place that Ted needed to go, he needed to go talk to Lester's ex-wife, current wife, but then he finds out when he gets there that she has hired Stuart. She's not going to talk to him about anything. And then he's like, that son of a bitch. She's divorcing him, and Stuart is going to use this murder trial as leverage.
Yeah.
So he's just pissed about this.
Yeah.
And what a shady move by Stuart, or so we think.
Then Erica meets with Brian, and he's playing himself. So, which is, I think it would have been weird if somebody else was playing him. And he wants to kill Kevin Malone. Okay?
Who is the character from The Office.
Yes, because he has been typecast because of it. He wants the world to see that he can perform Oscar-worthy, serious notes. He cites Robin Williams, Tom Hanks. He wants to talk to one of them. Okay? He can't talk to Robin Williams. He doesn't talk to Tom Hanks. And Ted happens to rep Tom Hanks. So it's just one meeting that he wants. So I have a deposition here for you. He's frustrated because he's been typecast. What would be a role that you would think that you would be typecast in? Like, you're like, oh, it makes sense that they typecast me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, can I tell you a real typecasting situation that I found myself in?
Yeah.
So a few years ago, probably like 11, 12 years ago, my mom brought me a bunch of boxes, and in those boxes were some baby teeth that I had saved of my own. And I posted a picture of them on Facebook, and it was like, a collection of baby teeth in some nice jeweled boxes.
Yes.
And from there, people were like, how weird that you have all these teeth.
Yeah.
And even though they were my teeth, I was just keeping my teeth.
Right.
But then from there, it like spiraled, and then people would like share pictures of teeth with me.
Yes.
And then other people who didn't know the context of it was just my totally normal collection of baby teeth in jeweled boxes started being like, Maggie loves teeth. And so now I would say about every other day, I'm getting a picture of teeth
every
shoes.
Other day?
Someone is sending me teeth jewelry, little like crocheted teeth, human teeth, like dresses,
Oh, wow, Maggie,
Rings.
that's excessive.
Rings made of human teeth.
That is so excessive that you're getting that every other day.
I've been typecast into a tooth lover.
So in your real life, not even in a film.
In a real life, people are like, Maggie wants to look at human teeth in string. What happened was I had a collection of baby teeth in jeweled boxes, and now I have become a woman who wants to collect teeth jewelry.
Is it fair to say that if you were cast as the Tooth Fairy, that would be appropriate?
I would not escape the role. I
Okay,
wouldn't. I would
good.
take that role.
You would lean in.
Mm-hmm. How about you?
I don't even know, because there's nothing that great as what you've been typecast as.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a real life one.
It's interesting. Like, that's just like now part of your brand that you didn't want. Like, I'm just.
But
thinking,
I appreciate it now. It's almost become a part of who, like, you know,
yeah,
like a good role.
I don't know what I would be typecast. I don't know. I don't know what I would be typecast as.
Boss.
Yeah, maybe, but I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, people still, you know, do you feel like they still think like, oh, Amanda?
I don't know. I don't ask them. I mean, I've tried to stop sending around polls asking if they still think I'm a boss.
Your annual survey monkey of how do you interpret me and how do you interact with me?
Yes.
To all your friends. I noticed that I didn't get one this year. Your
Yeah, 'cause
survey monkey.
Because I'm not the boss right now, and I don't have the admin privileges to send it. So that's why. I'm just a general user in Survey Monkey, so I couldn't send it and be able to do an evaluation. So
Right.
That being said, I will go log back into Survey Monkey. Sadly, I actually do still have a Survey Monkey.
I miss Survey Monkey. Okay, anyways, back on track.
Yeah.
We then see Ted, and he confronts Stuart on a corner outside. Of course, the best confrontations happen on the street. And Stuart's like, listen, Valerie came to my wife because she needs someone she can trust.
Yes.
And so that's why I've taken her on. It's not personal. But Ted sees right through this. He's like, you're using this as negotiation. And Stuart's like, hey, by the way, there's something else that I need to tell you. And Ted's like, you don't have to tell me anything. We're done here. And I'm like, Ted, you might want to know what Stuart has to say.
Right?
Like, why would you not be like, what is it? Lay it all out. Instead of walking away and then getting slammed with a huge surprise.
Yeah. Leah and Erica talk about Brian wanting to meet with Tom Hanks over tea. And Tom Hanks will definitely not take this meeting.
You definitely not take this meeting.
So Leah suggests that Alfonso Rivero, who was in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, played Carlton, and then remade himself as a TV host. And Erica does the Carlton poorly, like embarrassingly.
It's like Ellen dance.
Yeah. And then Leah does it, and she says, she will show him there are other ways to reinvent himself. I wonder if her performance of the Carlton was so bad because she's actually a good dancer. So when people
Right.
let who can sing try to fake not being able to sing,
Right.
it's just like, oh, wait a minute, I see what you're doing.
Right.
Like if I was to fake dance, or you were to fake not
You
loving
can't
teeth.
you can't say dance or sing because I'm not good at either of those things.
That's not true. You took hip hop class with me.
I did.
I was going to say...
Period. That's not true. You took a dance class once. Period. Nothing else to say about my dance performance?
I hadn't finished it, but I was just trying to use it as the... Okay, you know what I'm saying? I think... Let's get back to the actual podcast, Maggie. Okay? Stop trying to make it about you.
I'm just such a good dancer. Okay, so then Rosalind opens up a document and she looks super concerned. She immediately brings it to Ted. He is not going to like it. It is from Stuart. And then while she's leaving Ted's office, Erica runs into her and he's like, hey, I got something. Brian needs to meet with Tom Hanks. And Rosalind's like, absolutely not. Ted is underwater. He's not going to arrange a meeting with Tom Hanks and Brian Baumgarten, Kevin Malone from The Office.
Right.
You got to figure out a different way.
Yeah.
So then Leah talks to Rosalind, and Leah's like, hey, how about this other client that Ted has? Mm-hmm. And Rosalind's kind of like, stop. Like, what? No, it's not going to happen. But Leah says, okay, thank you for trying, or something super sweet. So Rosalind decides she is going to do Leah a favor and orchestrate this, because Leah's like, this is my chance to show.
Yeah, I'm going to do this. Ted calls Stuart. He's very mad. And he does not want Stuart to handle his father's will.
Which is what was in the envelope.
I know. Ted says to sell or donate whatever his father left because he doesn't want any of it. And the will says that he wants to be buried next to Eddie, which is Ted's brother. And he's going to be buried there in 2 days. Ted's not happy about this.
No.
Dude, he does not like his daddy.
He did not like his daddy. He loved Eddie. His dad was rude about Eddie. Mm-hmm. And his ex-best friend is the executor of his dad's will.
Yeah.
Jeez,
which is really
Louise.
interesting. Yeah.
So then we're in divorce mediation with Lester's wife, Valerie, who her attorney is Stuart. And there's also Ted and Lester and
Kevin.
Is Kevin there too?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I put that there. So basically, we've just had this really tense conversation about Stuart taking over the will of Ted's dead dad. And now he has to talk about Stuart representing the ex-wife of his client in a divorce proceeding while his client is on trial for murder. And they just want her to stand by Lester. And she's like, I want the beach house. You never cared about anything. Simon said he wished you were dead when he heard about how horrible you treat me. And it is not going well. They decide to just give her everything, whatever she wants, as long as she'll stand by him on the stand. And then Ted has this little like monologue where he's like, by the way, Valerie, you took an oath to be loyal. And he's like looking at Stuart while he's saying, and then you ran away to the one person that you knew would hurt him the most.
Yeah, he's just projecting how upset he is with
Stuart. Going to Stephanie, taking the firm, all the stuff.
They're taking a playbook from Suits OG because they used to do this a lot.
Projecting.
Yeah. Rick comes to see his new office. Stephanie isn't sure that she likes him. And he presents her the 3 people that he wants to fire. And it was just a test, apparently.
Yeah, he doesn't have to actually fire them.
Yeah. So while they're talking, Ted comes bustling in to ask her if she knew Stuart was his dad's executor. And just to see how many secrets the people he used to trust are keeping from him. And I'd like to go ahead and call out that in the year of 2025, these people are still driving over to other people's offices to ask this question when he could have just called or text.
Yeah, he wanted the element of surprise, to not be ignored.
FaceTime. Do a FaceTime. I'm really into FaceTime lately.
Are you?
Big time. And a couple of people know that. And so now they're answering.
Now they are.
Yeah, but at first they're like, what are you doing? You know, like I'll just randomly FaceTime. Because if I got to tell a story, you know.
It's easier to see a face.
It's easier to see a face. Sometimes I just want to see a face. I want to see somebody's face.
I want to see your face.
But I've been FaceTiming.
Good. Are you a voice memo person?
I'm not, but I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about adding it to my
repertoire.
Brand. My repertoire.
Interesting.
Yeah. Are you?
No. I might as well talk on the phone if I get a voice memo. I like a FaceTime because I like having face-to-face conversations. Yeah. But a voice memo when it comes through, I'm like, ugh, I gotta hold it up to my ear.
And you don't like talking on the phone?
I do not like talking.
I love it.
But I don't mind FaceTiming.
I talk on the phone about 2 hours a night.
Is that crazy? I've never liked it. Yeah.
I have like
That's
cycle
very like
I have like
90s of you.
Cycle of people that I talk to.
Every night?
We just call each other or whatever. There's really like 4.
Oh my God.
And it's the same people.
Yeah.
Because you got to catch up. I guess I could do a conference everybody in.
No, it's nice to have separate conversations.
But it's separate because it's like you're talking to them about different things.
Right.
So it'd be like,
parts of your life.
Okay, and they don't all know each other.
Right.
Like,
you can't
some of them don't.
call.
Yeah. So it's like, and we're talking about like their thing.
Right.
I don't know.
I've never liked, even in middle school, I remember I had a friend who would call me and just like want to talk on the phone. And there was one time when I fell asleep. Like the middle of the day, and I was like, I just like can't. It's so weird because I can't like you can say anything, but if you can't see someone's face when they're talking, then it's just like, I don't know. I don't like it, I don't like that people can overhear what I'm saying.
So I use it during my walks.
Yeah,
because I always walk the dog after work. I try to walk him in the morning, but I always walk him after work, and so that's just a good time to do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I'm either on the phone or listening to a podcast every time I'm on a walk. So
yeah.
I have one friend. We don't think we've ever had a phone call that's under 1 hour.
Dang.
Every time we talk.
That's good. Mm-hmm. The only people I call are my mom and my dad.
Yeah.
My mommy and my daddy.
Mommy and my daddy.
Okay, here we go. We're back.
Yeah.
It is, where are we? Oh, yeah. Okay, here we are. Leah tells Erica that she has fixed the problem. Even though they couldn't get Tom Hanks, she got Patton Oswalt. And Erica clearly does not know who Patton Oswalt is. And then we find out she also has never seen Forrest Gump. And then we find out she's also never seen any Tom Hanks movies.
What's your favorite Tom Hanks movie?
Oh, gosh. You've Got Mail.
Okay.
I love it. What's yours?
That might be it.
It's so good. Like him as a romantic comedy lead.
Yeah, Forrest Gump is pretty good.
Forrest Gump is great. Long one, but great. I mean, what a movie.
You know what movie I've never seen?
The one where he's on an island.
Yeah,
With Wilson. Castaway. That's a good one too.
I've never seen it.
It's actually really good.
Okay, I'm going to watch it tonight.
Okay, go watch it.
All right.
Then Ted and Kevin are talking in the lobby. Kevin has got a photo that looks very damning. It's Lester in a restaurant or at a party or something.
We
kind
can't
of hard
quite
to tell.
see it, yeah.
But he clearly knows that his wife was sleeping with Simon because I guess his wife and Simon are in this photo.
Yes.
And Kevin got this photo from the LA Times. They're about to run the story tomorrow with the headline, "He Knows." So they need to get Lester in there fast. So Ted calls up Rosalind's like, get Lester in here about this photo that's going to run in the LA Times. And then she's like, okay, great. By the way, Stuart's never sent over the divorce paperwork. Should I push him to send it? And he's like, no, just let it wait. But she's trying to make sure, like, once this photo comes out, they have no leverage at all.
Right. Brian comes to the office to meet with Patton Oswalt, and there is no Tom Hanks. And he's a little disappointed, but he just decides to go along with it anyways. Once Erica introduces the two, Leah interrupts to say that they need Erica downstairs. So she's like, bye-bye, I'm out.
It's just you two chatting. Two actors just talking.
Mm-hmm.
Stuart and Stephanie are talking about Ted's father's estate. And Stuart wishes he really did not have Ted's father as a client or Lester's ex-wife. But she tells Stuart that, listen, if we hadn't broken up, Ted totally would have wanted you as his best man. And then while they're having this moment talking about Ted and their past and all these messy things, Rick interrupts and he's like, hey, I just need to know if you two knew what Ted was going through when you decided to totally split off the firm and rip it out from under him. And they're like, no, we didn't know.
Right.
Secretary interrupts with something urgent. And I was like, I know what this urgent thing is for Stuart.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little photo from the LA Times.
Yep. Back to Brian and Patton. They seem to be having fun until Patton says he doesn't think that Brian has it in him to be an Oscar winner actor. He's like, this is the smallest role in the dumbest show ever, like talking about the Kevin Malone. Yeah. So they have like a knockdown drag out. And I was like, them some words.
Yeah. Patton Oswalt says the only Oscar you're getting is an Oscar Mayer Wiener.
Yeah.
Which I was like,
okay.
Don't
knock until you try it.
Yeah.
Erica comes to bust it up and Brian is like, next time do exactly what I tell you or you're fired.
He's pissed.
He is pissed.
Then we see Lester. He's coming in and he's like, why are we on this floor? And they're like, because this is the criminal floor and we're here to talk about this photo from the LA Times. And he's like, whoa, I had no idea this must be doctored. And like, what bad lie. And then while they're there, Stuart calls to say he knows about the photo. They need to renegotiate the divorce settlement.
Hence the name.
He
knows. Erica goes to visit Brian to see how he's doing. He's playing basketball in his driveway, and he's taking a lead in a dramatic off-Broadway play. He's going to show everybody, and she thinks this is a good idea. And she says that she told Patton to start this fight to give Brian something to fight for and prove. I thought it was really interesting that she went ahead and like showed her hand this early, like the same night. She's like, you know what? I'm going to go over there and tell him that I planned this.
I guess she knew that he'd take the bait. Like she was confident, okay. I guess. Or maybe she was like, maybe I have to do damage control.
And say that she planned that.
Yeah.
I think that it was planned.
Well, it was by Leah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like she's the closer, right? That's her whole deal, is that she's really good at getting and maintaining clients. So maybe that's her deal. Like we meet, we have a blow up, but then I smooth it all over.
Right.
Meanwhile, at renegotiation, Lester's ex-wife Valerie is not going to stand next to him at trial anymore because she's like, you son of a bitch totally knew that we were having an affair.
Right.
And look at this photo evidence. But then he's like, wait, no, look. I'm holding my glasses in my left hand, so I couldn't see anything because I was having problems with my eyes. And she's like, oh my gosh. And then he's so like, I'm so sorry I took you for granted.
Right.
I believe in you. I got you this role. You don't have to stand next to me, but I just want you to know that I did not do this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I did not kill my best friend. And so she agrees after this touching testimony and apology to stand by him.
It felt like a little bit of bribery to say all that stuff, then also slide a roll across the table.
A little bit? A little bit of bribery?
Now, had it been a dinner roll,
also buttering someone up.
Truly. Depot, what's your favorite kind of roll?
Oh, like if I get a bread basket at a restaurant? Or like if I'm just walking down the aisle getting a roll?
I don't care. You answer the question how you want to. We're talking about bread.
Bread basket roll, I'm going to want... like that brown one, like the honey wheat. Mm-hmm. I think that one's so good. Mm-hmm. A little butter.
Okay.
If I'm like walking down, like, oh, I got to pick up some rolls, I'm just going to get a crusty roll, but a round one.
Okay.
Crusty dinner roll.
Okay.
Did you know that ciabattas weren't invented until like the 80s?
Really?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Isn't that weird that there was bread being invented in the 80s?
Yeah, that is weird.
What's your favorite?
I don't even know. I mean, sometimes they have like a nice thin, like cheese crispy wafer type thing, which is like a real surprise, you know, hit you out of left field. I'm going to want, one of my favorite rolls is the cloverleaf roll at Luby's. So if there is a cloverleaf roll, something like that, similar in the bread basket, I'm going to take it. I love a good roll from Black Eyed Pea. Don't think they're open anymore.
Yeah. A lot of your favorite role places are not.
They aren't. But today, this day, I think I almost called you, FaceTimed, to tell you that I think I found a bagel place better than Benny's Bagels.
Which one?
Scalpani's or something. It's over in Preston Center.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Oh my gosh. It was the perfect amount of crust on top, but soft inside.
Okay.
I literally couldn't stop, like, oohing and awing over it.
I'll go check it out.
I think it was called Scalpani. Anyways, I had some time between showings, and so I was like, I need to eat something.
Get me a bagel.
And I was like, I think I want a bagel right now. Because I hadn't had anything that was, like, kind of lunchish.
God, they're so
But
good.
I didn't have the whole sandwich. I just had, like, a bagel with a schmear.
Yes.
I am blown. Like,
I'm going to go there.
It's a hike to get over there. But
if I'm over by my mom's?
If you're by your mom's, it's not that far.
You could just give me a bagel.
Yeah. Dude.
Okay, send me a link.
I'm going to. I think they close at 2 every day. It's so good.
So do I.
You close
I
at
also
2.
close at 2 every day.
I get it.
Okay, we're back. Stuart is with his wife in their kitchen, another brunette.
Oh my gosh.
Another cute brunette.
Who also, her role is a therapist.
Yes, she's our brunette Paula.
She's our brunette Paula.
Our brunette American Paula here. Yeah, she's like comforting him, and he's just so stressed about the Valerie Lester case. And she's like, you know what? I don't want to put on my therapist hat, but I think that there might also be some sadness about what happened with Ted. Mm-hmm. And I support you cutting the business ties, but there's this personal element that you need to address.
Right.
How lucky is Stuart to be married to a therapist?
So lucky.
So lucky.
Okay, Rick calls Erica to talk about Ted's dad dying, and neither of them knew. It was a surprise to both of them. Rick says that he can come over, and she's like, no. And he's feeling guilty about leaving. She tells him that she used his knowing what the client really needs today, and it worked, and she calls him Ricky.
Several times.
This is a very flirty and very indicative of them doing that thing they used to do.
The food truck.
The food truck.
Whatever they used to do, they're doing it now.
Yeah.
Flirty.
They are flirty, flirt.
Ricky. Ugh.
Gross.
Interesting. Then Erica calls Leah right after to thank her and tell her how impressed she's been with her, because it was actually Leah's idea to have Patton crush Brian's dream. Mm-hmm. So Leah actually was the genius strategist behind it, because Leah understands entertainment and Erica just wants to have the power.
Right.
But she's not actually an entertainment person.
Right.
She's a lawyer person.
She's a lawyer person. A lawyer person, if you will.
Yeah, tomato, tomato.
Rosalind is leaving the office and picks up the phone. It's Stuart. Her days of doing him favors are over. She's pissed, but she won't hang up because Stuart has something that he needs to tell her. And if she hangs up, she will regret it.
So then we see Ted. He's drinking in his suspenders and his unbuttoned shirt. And Rosalind calls and she tells him, listen, your dad is being buried tomorrow next to Eddie.
Yeah.
And Ted's like, oh. Oh, well then he died alone. He can be buried alone. And Rosalind's like, I'm just telling you, just so you know. Then he gets off on the phone and Hallucination Eddie is in the kitchen. And he's like, who's being buried alone? And Ted has to tell Eddie, who is his dead brother, who is buried, that his dad died. And Eddie's like, well, we should go because even though he did some mistakes, he's our dad and I love him and he gave me you.
Yeah.
So Hallucination Eddie really coming in clutch here for Ted not to regret missing his dad's burial.
Absolutely. Stuart is at the burial site and Ted shows up to join him. Hallucination Eddie is also there holding Stuart's hand. And there's a lot of space between them.
Yeah, they left enough space for Jesus and Hallucination Eddie.
I think any of the family members could have been hallucinated into this scene.
All of them could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of space. And they're just kind of standing there with their arms, like, not even like holding like their hand in front of them. It's just arms off to the side.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
It is a little weird. Oh, also, by the way, in this episode, there's an entire flashback.
Yeah.
That we have to talk about.
Yeah.
We just covered the present day LA.
We have a flashback.
But there's also past tense 2010 New York.
Which is so interesting because, OG Suits did not get into flashbacks for a while.
No.
Like, I want to say season
2.
Or was it season 3?
It was season 2.
It was season 2? So it's like, we had no context.
We had
now
no
we got
context.
All the context right now.
We do. We have so much context. It's almost like
have
too much context.
I think the name of our episode.
Too much context.
Too much context.
Because it's like now I have to parse through some very complicated backstory while I'm still trying to figure out some very complicated present day relationships.
That's fair.
So I do feel like this is too much too soon.
Too much too soon. Okay. Why don't you kick us off with our flashback?
Okay, so we see Ted and Stuart. Stuart is like emo Stuart. That's how we know it's a flashback with him. Besides the text that's in 2010.
His hair off to the side. Yes.
His hair is just like over one of his eyes. And they're eating pastrami, and Ted's like, hey, Stuart, I need you to represent a criminal. And Stuart's like, I do corporate law. He's like, okay, well, I want you to do this, but also know that representing him, the mob might go after you, Stuart. Stuart's like, okay, well, I will do it as long as I can be back in LA on Tuesday.
Right.
Which is a wild.
It's also wild that they're going to be able to wrap this case up that quickly.
Yeah. Or to be like, okay, fine, that all sounds good. Even though I don't practice criminal law.
Right.
I need to be back in LA by Tuesday.
Right.
And also the mob will be coming after me.
Right.
Kevin comes in and he's got all these like little maps that are color coded about how the FBI is going to protect them. And Ted's like, don't worry about it. He already agreed.
Right.
But Stuart lets him present anyway because Kevin worked really hard on that.
Yeah.
Which I get.
Stuart is representing... let me go back to this. This is actually the first time I felt confident that Kevin was a cop. Because
it was about protecting.
And he also had a badge on his belt.
Okay, so now we know. Because we were confused. They must have added that in after they heard our confusion last
They probably
episode.
did. Thank you for listening to our notes.
Thank you. It's very clear now.
But he had a badge on his left side. You could barely see it. I guess I didn't say it out loud, but I said it in my head.
And thank you for saying it now out loud.
Yeah, I said, oh, he's got a badge. So he's like, for sure a cop. Stuart is representing Jimmy, and Ted and Kevin come in to the interrogation room. Ted and Stuart argue, and Ted's like, hey, he gets what he gets, and he doesn't want to compromise. He's pissed that Stuart asked for Honolulu, and Stuart asks what's really going on, because he's like, don't ask for Honolulu. He's like, I'm asking for Honolulu, and then we'll settle for Miami.
Yeah, give us Miami, but I have to represent my client.
Yeah. And Stuart's like, what's really going on? Like, why is Ted so mad? And he's like, it's because Ted was supposed to protect Billy, and he failed. And he's not going to let that monster Jimmy live out in paradise after he killed Billy. Stuart then tells Ted that the issue is Pellegrini paid Ted's dad to offer Ted a job, and that's going to look really bad for Ted. So Stuart offers to pretend it was his dad who Pellegrini paid. And,
Or like he's the lawyer that Pellegrini paid.
Yeah. So the reason it hasn't come up yet is because Ted did not take his father's name. He took his mom's last name.
Or he changed it to his,
Yeah.
Because he hates his dad
hates his dad.
so much.
He hates his guts.
Yeah, this was kind of a lot. This is very confusing.
Right.
But we figured it out that that's what happened.
We did.
Then we see Ted, and he's showing Jimmy. He's like just meeting with Ted in the jail. And then he shows him behind the one-way glass mirror, a man in the other room. And Jimmy's like, what am I doing here? And he goes, you see that guy? That's the guy that Pellegrini paid to hire me. I'm his son. And that's like to complicate this whole lawsuit to make it get thrown out.
Right.
But by the way, you are going to take the deal that I have offered. And I tell you why, like, I will cut you loose if you don't. And you will get literally murdered. So take the offer that's on the table or leave it. You've got 5 minutes to decide.
Right.
Stuart is not there with his client when Ted is meeting with him, which I thought was,
Weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like he should have had his attorney present. But then we see the other side of the glass. Ted goes and confronts his dad, and he's like, you were trying to obstruct justice by offering me that job. And Ted's dad is like, no, I wasn't. But also he has really nice manicured nails. Like, they're not painted, but they're very shiny and well kept.
Well, good for him.
Unlike this.
I finally went back and got a manicure after a long time.
They look very nice.
Thank you. I think they look better than they did. They look like little child hands the other day. So Ted tells Stuart he is off the hook and that Jimmy is off the hook. Ted knew he would cave because, just like his dad, all he cares about is himself.
Wait, real quick. In that scene before, when they're in the jail, he's like, oh, well, guess what? I have a family and his name's Stuart. Like, his dad's like, what friend are you going to go see? His dad's trying to fish to see who Ted is. And he's like, I have friends who are more like family than you'll ever be.
That's right.
Stuart is my friend. And that's why I think his dad picked him to be the executor.
Yeah.
Just to be a big fuck you.
Yeah, big time.
Okay. Sorry, I had to say
No, that's okay. Stuart says that this is the most he's enjoyed being a lawyer and that criminal law is what he is meant to do. And also, he says Helen and he are going to start a family and he wants Ted to be his best man. Just then, Eddie and Samantha come in and give a big hug to Stuart. It's like a big happy family there. They're all like chosen family, real family. Like it's a mesh of both of them.
Yes.
So
how wild, too, that Stuart took this job knowing that he and Helen are about to get married and start a family. And he's like, sure, I'll take a mob hit job where I could get murdered.
Didn't tell her either.
No. Just took that job.
Oh, my God.
Oy, 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 oy.
I know. They're really, they're packing it in.
Oh, I love packing.
Yeah. Do you like packing to, like, take a trip?
I love packing to take trips.
Would you like to take a trip sitting alongside me?
To Prediction Town?
Let's go.
Chugga, 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 chugga.
We got a lot of predictions today, Maggie.
Do we do. I feel like we're getting in the swing.
Why don't you go?
Okay. I know that Harvey is going to be in the next episode because I watched the preview that happened immediately after this episode stopped. And I don't think it's going to be real Harvey, though. I think it's going to be hallucination Harvey.
Okay.
There's going to be hallucination Eddie. There's going to be hallucination Harvey. And there's going to be real life Ted trying to parse it out with the two of them.
Okay.
I think it's hallucination Harvey because he's not wearing a suit.
Oh.
He's wearing a Henley, which is what he's wearing in the photo that he was in.
Interesting.
In the baseball photo.
Interesting. We love him in a Henley, though.
I love him in a Henley, so I'm happy to take him. If he's hallucination or not, I'll take him.
Yeah.
I also think that Rick is going to send Ted a fruit basket to say sorry about your loss. And then they're going to talk and kind of patch things up a little bit because I don't think that Rick holds grudges.
Yeah.
I think he's pretty like even keel and just wants to move through things.
Yeah.
And then I think that Ted is going to have a full-blown psychotic break with all these hallucinations popping up because I've predicted now that there will be hallucination Harvey. I think he's going to get super stressed and then end up in the hospital. And then we'll see Stephanie, Stuart, Kevin, Erica, Rick. They're all going to come and check up on him because they're his family.
His family. Okay.
And then I also think that Lester is going to ultimately get off on this murder charge.
Okay.
But it's going to be close. I think it's going to be close.
Okay. I'm going to take an alternative stance and say that Lester did it.
Which could also happen.
Yeah.
It's 50-50.
It is.
And if that's the case, maybe that's what causes Harvey's psychotic break that I'm predicting.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yes, and.
I think there are going to be more of these celebrity sightings besides Harvey, like the way that we had Patton and Brian, to get, or just to keep like viewers interested, because they do represent their entertainment law, right?
Yeah, it's the perfect.
Like, they have to do this, and they're in LA. So I didn't predict who would be next, but I thought the pairing of Brian and Patton was so interesting and not what I would have ever predicted. If you're like, pick 2 celebrities that are going to start, I'm like, not what I would have predicted. So I'm really curious to see who else they have.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Carlton.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. That'd be great.
I think it's going to show up and teach Erica how to do the Carlton.
I sure hope so. You know? Mm-hmm. Louis Litt is going to make it a guest appearance.
Great prediction.
Thank you.
How did you come to that?
Well, here's what's interesting about this. And I'm telling you the honest to God truth. They teased a couple of weeks ago that another cast member was coming back.
Oh, they did.
I tried to figure out how to do a poll. I was like, I'm going to do a poll on our story and see if people like want to guess who it is. Because I thought it would be Louis.
Of course.
I thought it was they wouldn't do Donna or Mike because they have a podcast and like they're out there back, and Meghan Markle's trying to make cakes. So, and Jessica Pearson is doing all kinds of stuff. So, I thought it'd be Louis because he'd be a fun character to bring back. But I couldn't figure out how to do the poll thing. I meant to text you this and be like, how do you do polls?
Yeah. I'll do it next time.
Okay. So, but then there was an advertisement for it. So
yeah, I'm so excited for Louis Litt and Harvey Specter to be on this show. If people would just stick with it. Yeah.
It's mainly, we're saying that to my mom because she's
my mom too.
Very disappointed. Is she disappointed?
Yeah, and I'm like, it's fine. You know what it is? It reminds me of like CSI. The first CSI, if you watched it, was like, oh my gosh, I love it. And then they had the break off, and you're like, I don't know, it's not the same. But then enough time passes, and they build it out, like the first season finishes, and then you're like, wait, this is nice because it's familiar but different.
Yeah, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it on this one.
I'm finishing this season for sure.
We for sure are. We have no idea what's going to happen, but we're for sure finishing it. Last prediction I have is that Erica and Rick are going to be doing that thing that they do, which is owning a food truck. And one of them is going to divulge some trade secrets during pillow talk.
Oh my gosh.
That's going to get
messy.
It's going to get messy because they're at competing firms. And you know how there's always pillows inside of a food truck. So I was thinking when they're talking about their pillows.
Yeah, it's a to-go. It's a bag order.
Yeah. So that's my prediction.
Wow, that would be
juicy. Big time juice.
It would be, I think it would be Erica would slip something up.
You think?
Because you would never think it.
Yeah.
And then Rick would struggle because like, should I say something or no? Because he's such an upstanding guy.
Or Rick says something and Erica's like, sorry, all's fair.
I'm going to use it.
I'm going to take it.
Ricky.
Yeah. So that's my prediction.
That's a good one.
Thanks.
I think that's it.
Is that it?
Yeah, we got to sign off.
Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and of course, YouTube. And make sure to listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know how to start a review, you could say, I like this podcast.
You can.
That's all you need to say.
Actually, you could just say that.
Just period. People like to hear that.
I think they do.
And then they will listen. And then they'll be like, me too.
Yeah.
5 stars. I do too.
Yeah.
You could start a whole trend.
We've made this so easy for you.
So you could copy paste the transcript on the podcast. You know, Apple Podcast gives you the transcript now. Just copy paste this and then just put it, keep scrolling, go to review and do that. Plop it.
So easy.
I like this.
It's so easy.
So easy a caveman could do it.
They probably did. We're probably going to get a review from a caveman.
Probably. I hope so.
I hope so too. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, now I just got to go up there and turn the camera.